Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Thoughts on Education. Today we are going to interact with Mr. Devender Kharb, who is actually the Dean of the School of Fashion from World University of Design. We welcome you, sir, to this interaction. And
Thank you.
Before we start with the questionnaire, I would just like to say, could you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Okay, my name is Devender Kharb. I'm Dean School of Fashion at World University of Design. World University of Design School of Fashion has three programs: Fashion Design, Fashion Communication, and International Fashion Business. So Fashion Design also has a branch called Textile Design. We have bachelor's and master's degree both. So my background personally, I am NIFT 97 2000 batch from NIFT Delhi, Fashion Design. And after that, I worked in industry in India for a little while before going to UK abroad for my master's. So I did my master's from London College of Fashion. Then I was in UK for almost more than a decade working in the industry, and we launched an e-commerce company there where I was a partner. We had forwarding offices in India. So I came back to run the forwarding office, and then I also got involved in education. So that's how I got into World University of Design. I've been there from the beginning, and it's been exciting. So that's basically me. So I've worked with the industry as well as I am part of the education system.
All right. So like you mentioned that you have been part of different sectors. What are some fascinating things about the education industry that you think that, that deals with students, or is it about the new technology-driven industry that is coming? What are some of the aspects that keep you connected with the education sector?
See, education, one of the things which I really like, the statement that I really like is, if you want to become an expert of something, you teach. So that's always been on my mind. But it was more so why I got attracted to education was the vice chancellor of the university. And when he was launching the university, he used to be my faculty when I was in NIFT Delhi. Oh. So he approached me and he told me that, the students need faculty who are industry oriented or industry based, who are in touch with the industry. So especially in design, more so in fashion, we need people who are updated about the current economical climate or the industry, what's happening in terms of technology and in terms of how we're progressing. Those are the people they need, or we need, for the students to be interacting with or to be taught from. So, and then I like the idea, we were taught by some fantastic faculty back in our times at NIFT Delhi and then at LCF. So we feel like it brings back, because you're working for the industry, you're making money, you are running a business, but working with the students, it's a completely different lifestyle, it's a different joy. It brings happiness to an extent. And you feel like you've learned so much, you want to give it to somebody else. So that's my excitement in terms of, in life. That's why I got connected with education. I enjoy it.
And what about your leadership style? How can you describe your leadership well?
I would say it's very important that the leader should be seen as somebody, as an aspirational figure in terms of, and an inspirational figure as well. So I do most of the things myself. I like to lead by example. So I'm engaged in projects, I'm working with the students, I design, and I also teach my faculty, and I also tell them and the students that we are two designers working together. This is not a relationship, because we are in a professional program.
Yes.
This is not school, this is a university, and it's a professional program. So in design field, we learn from each other. So we put ourselves on the same pedestal. We treat each other as equals, and we learn from the students, and students are learning from us. So it's a give and take. So I personally believe that really helps. It opens up the students. It kind of gives them more confidence. Their focus is slightly more. They are more open to ideas because of it and engagement.
All right. And so, like you mentioned previously, that you have been abroad as well. So have you seen some of the exposure that you've got, and you have think that, there's a difference in India when it comes to this particular industry? Let's say fashion as an overall career, it's a very niche category. So what are some of the things that you would like to say about the difference which is there outside and in India especially when you talk about as a dean of School of Fashion over here?
It's a very valid question, and it's very relevant for the students who are looking to choose where to study, especially fashion. So you would assume that abroad you'll be taught in a different way and stuff. So that was true in our time. So we used to have very rare somebody who used to be an alumni of our university who had gone abroad and studied abroad and launched a label might come back and give us a bit of a input about how it's done in the West or abroad or developed countries. But now all that has changed. Since that time until now, there's a lot of people who've gone abroad and studied, they've worked abroad. And then there are new designers, new businesses which have launched themselves abroad. So the exposure is already there.
Okay.
So even in our campus, we've got people from NID teaching, we've got people from SPA and NEF, and then international colleges. I have half of my faculty who's being trained abroad in one or the other way. So that exposure is finally coming. So what you will find now is there isn't too much of a difference in terms of how the course is taught and the content and what kind of exposure and knowledge we bring as faculty to the students or as a college. So that gap has kind of narrowed down. There are a lot of exchange programs. There are faculty from international colleges traveling to the university, taking modules. That's happening. Students are going abroad to do interactions. And the faculty who might be Indian born, but they have all the possible exposure they could have either through working with the industry or through international colleges. So we are almost at par with what is being taught in some of the top colleges that are considered top in the West.
All right. Moving on to the next question. What about the curriculum of your institute and what are some of the USPs that you have that you would like to highlight over here?
Okay, so curriculum is, we've got, for example, bachelor's degree, undergraduate bachelor's degree in fashion or communication or textiles. It's a 4-year degree program. So first year is foundation, where mostly all the 3 programs study together.
Yeah.
And then it's more based on developing your creativity. So we don't touch upon industry practices until the second year. So first year is all about developing your creative skills, and you've got then second year, third year, and fourth year is when the industry inputs start. So curriculum is divided into 3 kind of segments. We focus on 3 things. One is design process, which is how to develop range, how to design, whether it's a product or it's a garment or whatever. And second is technical skills, whether it's production of materials, processes, softwares, the new technologies, pattern making, draping, all those come under technical. So we do design, we also do technical, and third is business. So there's a lot of focus now on entrepreneurship, how the businesses are run, marketing, management, merchandising courses which come into play. So to an extent, quite a bit of input is put on all the 3. So we try to find a balance. So students taught how to create as well as to sell. So we start from scratch, how to idea is generated to how to launch it in the market. So we want our students to not just look for a job, but they should be, by the time they graduate, they should be thinking in terms of launching a brand, launching a company, starting some kind of industry. So that's what we aspire to, and that's sort of a vision we have as a college.
And so something else that you would like people to know about your university that they might not know. Like you can see that WD has a very pretty good infrastructure. I have been there in the campus itself. But apart from the curriculum and whatever you have said so far, something that differentiate your college from the other institute?
See, one, the technical softwares. We were the first ones to bring in 3D softwares, 3D printing into fashion, artificial intelligence, into design process, which was unheard of. We brought it in about 4 years back. We were the first one to bring in 3D prototyping for digital garments to 3D almost 4 years back. And then there's another more interesting thing about World University of Design. There are 9 different programs, and one of them is, or 9 different colleges. One of them is School of Fashion.
Yeah.
Then we have School of Design, which does transportation and interior design and product design and all those fields. School of Design. We've got School of Communication, graphic design, animation, gaming. And then we have School of Architecture, School of Visual Arts. We have even School of Performing Arts. So there are all these different fields that exist, these colleges that exist within the same campus. And there's a lot of overlap in terms of projects. So as a fashion design person, I used to crave that kind of exposure and interaction with other fields when I was in NIF Delhi. That has gotten taken care of here. So as a fashion person, I might not just work for garment industry. I might decide to work with advertising or get into, I don't know, branding, interiors. I could go anywhere. So when we work as designers, we don't limit ourselves to just fabric or garments. We work with architects, we work with creative artists, we work with performing arts for costumes. So that kind of exposure is very fascinating and fantastic, which doesn't exist anywhere else. That combination doesn't exist anywhere else.
Nice. Because I think technology is seated everywhere. Whenever we talk about any particular course, when you drive that with technology and align your vision like that, it helps. So, sir, moving on to the next question. How is your relationship is there with the students of your institute? And how do you maintain a healthy relationship with them?
I believe it's pretty fantastic. See, as I mentioned before, my idea is we are fellow practitioners. We're not working like teachers and students. That's what I want. And I do tell my students that it's not about sirs and ma'ams and so it's you call your faculty with their names. Okay, that puts the onus of responsibility on the student as well, because they can't hide behind the facade that I'm just a student, I don't know enough. So you treat each other as equals, so there is more respect, there is more work, there is more interaction, more openness. So that's what I try to propel in, within the program that we run here. So I generally try to push students to be more open, and I offer myself as somebody who they can really approach anytime with anything. So that's the whole idea. So there are all kind of students from different backgrounds, different cultures. Some people are very extroverts, some are introverts, especially creative people generally are. So different people, every single individual student is different. So it's very important for them to feel confident and comfortable enough to open up and to ask questions, to engage. So for that, we need to, as faculty, we need to be really accessible to them. So I try to do that.
Okay, and any suggestion that you would like to a student who is searching out for this particular course but might not have much idea about it?
Okay, so yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's again interesting, but I know how many people are listening who fit into that category, because students now have a lot of exposure. They're very smart, they're very social media savvy, the information is very easily available, which wasn't the case in our time. So we were lucky that we found out that design was another field which we could get into. Otherwise, it was those typical engineering and medical and law and all those programs which our parents knew about. So we were lucky we had schools or our seniors or friends, somehow we found out and we took advantage of it. I think to an extent, there's still a large percentage of people out there who still don't have that exposure. They might know about it, but they might not know enough, or their parents might not know about it. So it's difficult to convince parents as well. So for them, yeah, research, interact, be part of such webinars and seminars, learn more about it, ask questions, because it's the new field. This is the future of industry. Design is going to be everywhere. The typical traditional jobs are going to fade away because of mechanization, computerization, and artificial intelligence. Majority of jobs are going to be computed and taken care of by machines. So you need to bring in something which the machines can't do, which is design thinking, which is a human only can do with the social context and other factors that get involved. So design is the future. So whatever field you might choose, you should, if you have that aptitude, if you have that passion, and if you think you are meant for this, definitely go for it. This is going to be the future, as I said before. And second is, more importantly, you have to realize that you should know what you are going to really enjoy doing. That's the key. So for all the students who might be listening, it's very important. You might actually go into visual arts, become a painter. So all these jobs, all these career fields, now they're on same parallel ground. None is better than the other. It totally depends on how good you're going to become at that particular job that you're going to pick up. So choose what you're going to be fantastic at, what you're really good at, what you're really passionate about, something you can really work hard and don't feel the tiredness for. So go for that field. Don't go for something which is popular at a particular point of time, or something which seems to pay more than the other. So instead, go for something where you can really excel. So that's what I want to tell the young audience that there might be.
And so we have almost reached the end of the interview. I just wanted you to give some suggestion to the current youth of the country.
As I said again, be more enterprising. Current youth, I'm talking about the Indian young, they're already there. So they need to even push themselves further, have that confidence. Our economy is booming. We are literally in the forefront of the growth the world is seeing. So be more enterprising, keep the energy up. One thing which I would like to say as a professor and a teacher, when you go for your postgrad studies, or even your undergraduate studies, or even school time, these are the years. If you focus and follow your passion and push yourself in more entrepreneurial spirit, there's no limit to where you can reach, because you don't want to waste these. These are very precious years. So really use them, work hard with them. Have fun at the same time. Don't just work. Because in design, we say it's as important to be socially, culturally aware. So go out there, see cinemas, get into art, get into music. So do everything. It's important for you to evolve as an individual. Very important. So do all that, but be enterprising and focused during these years, and you'll have fantastic careers and lifestyle in the future.
Wow, sir, that was a really good message. I mean, I would take some of the few notes for myself as well. So I, Shubhangi, would like to stop the interview over here only. In case you have something to add on, you can do the same. Or we can
I think I've covered almost everything, but feel free to get back to me if you have any other questions. But thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was nice interacting with you.